Oh, maybe. Okay.
Yeah.
Hello. Welcome to Women That Shred. I know we're a couple minutes behind, technical difficulties in the background.
It is 1 minute behind. It's 1:01 according on my map. So
we're good. Now, are you back? Are you home, or because I know that there was a 2020 Vision Summit?
Oh yeah, no, I came home.
Okay, gotcha. All right.
Only like an hour. What do you call it? An hour and 20-minute drive. It's not bad.
Okay, I figured that you wouldn't be staying in
Yeah.
Tampa, but okay, so you're back home, and for those of you that don't know her, but I don't know who would not know you, this is Dalila Ramos, who you might recognize from Taco Tuesday and as my first guest on Women That Shred. So we're reunited. I actually just got off the phone with Julian Sato.
Okay. I talked to him yesterday as well.
Yes. So he's kind of like a mentor of ours as well. So that's always important. We talked about mentorship. But let's dive right into our topic. Yeah, let's do this. How the industry is changing, how to, stay valuable in this market. I mean, all of it. Hey, Christina.
Okay, so I sent out an issue in a topic because I'm having a lot of conversations with folks that unfortunately are now looking for jobs, right? Looking for their next career move and seeing what's out there. And they're mostly coming from the retail, the lending side, right?
Right.
And the conversations that I'm having, some of the issues, I'm trying to be.
I get it. You and I are the same, where we are very honest and we're very open and transparent, but sometimes we also have to be very respectful.
No, I feel it's hard because some of the conversations that I'm having, I'm a little surprised, right? Because, and I have to be honest, because the truth will give them, will be able for them to work on those things that they need to be worked on. For an example, I'm seeing a lot of people that within the last 20 years, they've been in the mortgage industry since the late 90s or the early 2000s, right? So they went through the whole 07, 06 through 08 time period. But for whatever reason, they did not venture out, Raquel. They just stood in their lane. They didn't, their head down. They didn't venture out. And there's so many different avenues and channels in our industry, mortgage, real estate. And now, people are now dipping into vendor and fintech and mortgage technology, right? They never ventured out. They just stood in their lane, in their comfort zone. And now they don't know anything else. They don't know anything else. They don't want to do anything else. And I'm having to tell these folks, hey, you got to be open. You have to pivot. You're going to be left behind, or you're just going to have to leave.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a tough one, because that's the problem, is a lot of the people that are, being downsized, it's those roles. And so nobody else is hiring because everybody's having to back off, especially in operations and so forth. So that's a really tough one.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and when I saw your video, Dalila, it also made me actually think about kind of my position too, and just in general, right? Because you were talking about how none of us are guaranteed anything, right? So it's we also have to look around and be all right, how can I better myself, my position, my worth, my value, all of those things. And I think that's just a very natural thing. And I think when you talked about it, hopefully it made people think about their situation. Hopefully, and kind of lit a little fire under them to.
I feel I'm a positive person. I'm a person of faith. Everything will always work out somehow, some way. But you have to also be able to want to change. You got to be open to growth, to learning new channels and avenues, because our industry is completely changing. One of the things also I've had to have conversations with them is, hey, your position may not come back. We're going through a period, right? And we always seem homeownership is not going away. We're just going to, It's just we're scaling down for a moment for the next year, 18 months, whatever, and it always comes back, right? But with technology, they're eliminating a lot of positions that used to be filled by natural body, and that being underwriting, that being processing, anything like front desk, and those positions may not come back because they're being automated.
Yeah. So let me ask you this, Dalila, because obviously, let's say someone's like, all right, I am open to changing. I am open to learning another trade or just learning another position within the industry. Like, where do you go from, like, what would be the first step to do that?
So one of the things you can always do is attend events. A lot of events are free through all the trade organizations, not just the ones you and I are affiliated with. We're talking about locally. There's always events and workshops, lunch and learns, anything. Get yourself back out there. One of the things that has come up, someone told me this, I have not looked for a job in 20 years. Straight up told me, I've not looked for a job in 20 years. I'm like, how? Like, she's like, that person was like,
it's okay. There's a lot of she's in this industry. You're good.
I'm trying. But that person was, I don't know how to, I don't know how to find, like, I don't know how to find a job. I'm like, what
yeah, like, and that's only that, like resumes, writing a resume sucks.
a resume, nothing was updated. I'm like, how did you guys navigate the last 2 decades? It's not like a year, 5 years. We're talking about
years. Wow.
2 decades. Never had a resume in 2 decades. And I'm like, okay. So there's like things that I'm having to have conversations. Okay, well, here's a format. You make sure you update your LinkedIn, because LinkedIn, you and I both know, is an extremely valuable tool. Do you know, depending on the LinkedIn account that you have, Raquel, you can download it as a PDF and boom, it becomes a resume.
Yeah, I did that actually.
There you go.
Job. I was like, oh God, and it worked.
Yeah. You need a resume? Here you go. I tell people all the time, and they're like, no way it can do that. I'm like, yeah, way.
No, but that's good to know, because even I was telling my son the same thing. But it's tough too, because someone like my son who's younger, he's like, but I don't really have anything to build upon. And so that's the thing too, is I'm sure a lot of these people that have been in the same position for so many years, their resume is going to be like this long. But that's okay, right? Like, I feel like don't have that hold you back. Like, let the employer or the person that's looking, let them decide if it's a big deal or not, that it's like this small.
No, it is, but you have to have something, because one of the things, one of like my most valuable lessons I've learned is the best time to look for a job is when you have a job.
Yes. Yeah.
The best time to look for a job is when you have a job. Never stop talking with people. I don't care how happy you are. I don't care if your current position is Skittles and rainbows and like they feed you tacos every day. I don't care. You continue to have conversations. You talk to people, you find out 411. And going back to my Friday finds, I don't know if you saw that. I don't care who you know, like how chummy you are, they will dispose of you really quick,
Yeah. No, it's true. You're never guaranteed. Just like you said, you could be, besties with the CEO or the, one of the C-suites. At the end of the day, it's bottom line for them, right? Yep. So
exactly.
And I didn't realize that. Like, I'll be honest. Like, I was always very naive in the beginning when I started in the corporate world. I thought like, oh, like so-and-so is always going to be safe because they're in this particular position or they know this particular person. So then I felt like, ooh, if I get in good with the higher ups, and I'm okay. And I realized, that
no, it didn't work.
I learned the hard way, but I learned.
That's exactly what this person thought. Well, like we were,
Yeah.
We were like best friends. I'm like, no, you're not.
Yeah.
No, you're not.
Yeah. I mean, you're the only one that's going to look out for yourself. At the end of the day, like you
Yeah.
have to look out for yourself. And it's not being selfish. It's just, hey,
No,
someone's got to take care of you.
absolutely. At the end of the day, like you said, it's the bottom line. And
Yeah.
it isn't, listen, it's not personal. Like, don't, majority of the times it's not personal. It's just, it's business. Like,
Yeah.
don't get in your feelings, please. I know it's hard.
It is
It's hard.
hard. It is
It's hard. I know it is, but trust and believe. You got to, feelings aren't facts.
Right.
Feelings
Yeah.
aren't facts. You know, you can't do that. So,
Yeah. And so you, I mean, you're out on your own, but you're also have partnered up with Next to kind of help also as well.
yeah.
So that's something that I want to talk about too, so that people are listening know that there are resources and there are
Yes.
people out there that are trying to do their best to help place people. So tell me what you're doing with Next.
So with Next, we have our job board that goes out every Thursday. And as you can see, it gives you articles, updates, what moves are happening, even layoffs, right? You'll see everything every Thursday, you'll see updates. And it is very women executive focused, but for the most part, it's information across the industry. And what we're trying to do is we have our job board where any organization, any company can go in there for a very small fee and post jobs on there. So it's really simple. You just put your information, the requisition link, and you can put a credit card on, and it's a very small fee, and you can do that. Now, if you need additional help, there's where myself and Next come in, because there are some folks that still, there are companies that are growing. It is more technology and vendor, but there are growing, and they're needing candidates that are dipped in gold, is like what I say, because our network, our yeah, you know, because last year, the last 2 years, Raquel, people just need bodies. They just need bodies.
Yeah.
And so that's not the case anymore. They're needing quality people. They're needing professional people, people that are going to be assets to the company, that can really make a difference, grow a team, run a team. It's no more filling bodies anymore.
Yeah.
So when I am filling positions, I'm having to check, they're requiring more. Like the requirement and the skill set is high.
Yeah.
When I'm seeing the job description as they come in, it's a lot.
So it's competitive.
It is. It is. Hence why when they see, I'm noticing, like, I'll present someone and sometimes I have to get creative how I'm going to present it to my client. I'll ask them, just, hey, have a conversation, because sometimes it's their personality that can shine through, right? Sometimes it's just their want. Like they want it bad.
So you are advocating for them as well, because
Absolutely.
I will tell you this, on paper, I'm not that impressive. Just saying. Like, I feel like if someone didn't know me and saw my resume, I think they'd be like, you know, whatever. But I know that my strength is in person, meeting face to face, showing my personality, my passion. Like, I feel my passion doesn't come through my resume. Like, my passion comes through when you speak to me and I tell you how much I want, you know, to help, and, you know, branding and marketing and the loan officers and all of that. And once they hear me, then they're like, okay. And that's why I will say this, a lot of it has to do with the fact that I am on social media and show up, because they can tell, you know, already, like when NAF came to me, they already knew who I was, and they knew exactly what they were going to get. So I didn't have to sell myself, because already through social media, they saw my personality, they saw my passion. So that's why I tell people too, like, get yourself out there. That way they, you know, when they do get that resume, they're like, oh, okay, wait, no, I know that person, and I've seen
that person.
And then you just have more credibility. So yeah, because I'm telling you, like I said, every job that I've ever received, it's because I knew someone that knew me. It was that networking, or same thing, social media. It was never me just blindly sending a resume out to a company. It's never happened to me that way.
I tell people all the time, like, going back to LinkedIn, every single recruiter for every single type of organization has a LinkedIn account. Every company small, medium, large, has a LinkedIn account. Go to them, follow them. It'll show you all the employees that they have. Go look through that, connect with all of them, and it'll show you your titles. And with the titles, you can see, okay, this person runs operations, this person's in charge of HR, this person's in charge of talent acquisition. Just connect with them. And if you throw them a message, what's the worst that they can happen? You don't respond. But that is the way I would go about it versus going on their career page and just
sending the
resume and see, if you look, it'll tell you who's connected to who. And you might have someone that you actually have a relationship with, a friendship with, and then they can maybe help kind of put your foot in the door. But some people, I don't know.
You do, Dalila. That's why I have you on the show.
I do, but it's like I can give you all the tools, all the advice, all of my subject matter experts here, but ultimately it's up to that person. They have to do the legwork. I can't make you.
They have to want it, and not only that, like, if it's not this industry and it's somewhere else, then it's somewhere else. But like, think about things that your interests, your passions, your likes, maybe get a little bit adventurous and just, maybe it's at the end of an era for some people that have been in this industry for 20 plus years. Maybe it's time for them to kind of open up their world to something else. And there's nothing wrong with that either. Right. Like, I think too many people kind of downplay their skill set and their value too. I think that's an issue, especially for us women. I know a lot of us kind of downplay what we're worth and our value. I know I do. And then
I've had that issue.
And I'm sure a lot of them are feeling kind of like, I don't know, I'm not sure. So it's also having the support of other people and maybe going to those people and being like, hey, what do you see me good at? Like, or what are my strengths, and getting that from others, your friends, your family members. And you'd be surprised, like, what they say,
you said something, going back to like LinkedIn, right? And putting yourself out there. I know a lot of people don't do it. They just say they don't want to do it. They don't have the time, right? And I understand. I do. Because there's certain aspects of social media that I don't want to do.
Yeah.
It's something I'm not doing.
There's things that I'm like,
I don't want to do it. However, the industry is changing, right? And you're going to see that the people who are like the true, I said it yesterday on with Michael Hammond, I was like, the true mortgage G's, like, and I consider myself a mortgage gangster. And so we're going to always be here. We're not going nowhere. We might have to pivot, get creative, go into another space. Like I went on my own, but we're not going anywhere. You will see if the people that came into the industry the last 5 years, they made their money and now they're, chucking the deuces and out. You're going to see them fizzle out because they don't have the grit. They're not thick skin like we are, right? Then there will be less competition. So give it also time. You're going to see these people that dipped into it the last 5 years or the last 2 to 4 years. If they're not really solid and really entering the industry and making it a career, they will fizzle out. They will take themselves out of the equation. And this is where people like myself and you, we will rise and we will just get more market share.
Yeah. Or we get sucked back in like I did. I left.
You did.
I left January 2020. COVID hits in March, and then I got sucked back in.
And it's okay. That's the great thing is like our industry shows a lot of grace, because we'll make it, they always come back for whatever reason. I've never left. I'm a ride or die girl with the mortgage industry. I don't see myself unless some kind of like huge taco company comes and
I
even
was
then,
gonna say, like, taco shop, Delila's Tacos.
yeah, I know, unless some kind of like huge branding opportunity or like comes at me, which I'm open to.
I was gonna say you should be open to anything.
Yeah, but I still will always, have a hand on mortgage. I mean, I am a walking testimony, billboard to the industry. I'm an investor myself. I own multiple properties, in different states, and so there you go. But
That's why you're like the perfect advocate and someone, to be helping others, because you really truly are passionate about this industry and love it. And so I would want you on my side if that was the case. And I love that there are, and it's, and there's others like you too, but you are very vocal about it though. I think it's interesting when it comes to recruiting and recruiters. A lot of them kind of shy away from talking about the fact that they're recruiters, because there has always been this like crazy kind of
like stigma about it, right?
Yeah, like even LinkedIn, in the sense that there's so many loan officers that stay away from LinkedIn because they get inundated by recruiters in their DMs. And I'm like, just ignore them. If you're not looking, then you're not looking. But just know that they're out there to try to give you a better opportunity, and you just never know. And so I do feel badly for a lot of recruiters, because all they have to say is recruiting, and people are like, but in your case, like, I've never felt that about you, because the way you come at it, it's just very genuine and sincere. So I encourage others that are doing what Dalila does, like, do it from a place from your heart. And then I think then nobody, it's going to be different.
It is. I mean, I have made it. I'm at a point, and I'm so grateful to God to be in this position where people are coming to me.
Yeah.
In all sorts of channels. They come to me every single day. It's at the point where it's every single day.
I'm not surprised at all. Like I said, I'd be the first person I'd call.
I mean, every single day. I am like covered in candidates, like seriously, like covered from so many different departments. And I want them to stay. I want to help people. It's not even a passion. It's really an obligation at this point. I do feel like it is where I'm supposed to be. And I sleep very, very well at night. But I'm not oblivious to the changes, and I have to have those tough conversations, right? Like it's starting to have those tough conversations. And even I was talking with Molly at Next, and Next, we're going to be, because sometimes what it is, people are just needing during this time, just show up, right? Just show up for people. Let them know, hey, I'm here for you. What do you hear? What's working for you? So Next is working on something, and it's coming soon, and it'll be promoted on, LinkedIn and social media, where to show as an organization, hey, we just don't want to come to our conference and pay that enormous amount of fee. We're showing up for you. Like at no cost, just to be here. Because we do need to help each other. I'm not trying to keep any information to myself or anything like that. There's enough room for everyone to play in the same sandbox. And
So I want to know, so how is it being on your own?
So it's hard.
Yeah, no, I wanted to ask you, because this might be the time where a lot of people might want to go out on their own and do their, and I will admit it was hard for me when I did it. And I think it's also, we owe it to also be very honest about it, right?
Yes. It's not for the weak, for sure. I mean, I appreciate, the great thing I could have ever done was start Taco Tuesday Talks with Dalila 2.5 years ago. I mean, that was an amazing blessing. I can't even begin to tell you. I would have never thought 2.5 years later what I'm doing. Never would have entered my mind.
And I'm sure people thought, like, oh gosh, Taco Tuesday, like, that's so cliche-ish. Dalila's going to just be eating tacos and I'm like, And I don't, and I say that in the most loving way, because you know there's always people that are kind of like, what is she doing? Or like they just are quick to kind of judge because it might not be in that box of what mortgage is supposed to be like. So I love that you just took a chance and you said, I'm going to do something that I enjoy and let's see what happens. And look, so that's why I tell people, like, you just never know. Like, don't limit yourself because you assume that people are not going to like it. Like, let them choose. and they all chose you and tacos.
Yeah. And listen, now I have companies and my clients, and I love them. I love working with some of my clients, and they want to collaborate with me, and they want, to be a part of my circle. And I have companies now who back maybe a couple of years ago that mocked me, or they would poke me, or even make fun of me, like straight up just like make fun of what I'm doing. And now they're circling back and saying, hey, how can we work with you?
Yeah, no, I've had that too, where same thing, where kind of they just didn't get what I was doing, and they're kind of like, okay, that's just silly, or like she's being kind of unprofessional. And it's a lot of the people are coming back around of like, wow, actually you were like really smart about what you did with your brand. And I'm like, yeah, but that's the funny thing, folks, is I wasn't like purposely trying to create a brand or trying to like be this persona. I was just doing what was natural to me, what I enjoyed and loved doing. Just same with you. So that's the beauty of it as well, is that if you just kind of listen to your heart and just show up in a way that it's very genuine, you'd be very surprised as to where that can take you.
Yeah, I just, and I never, I don't do anything with any malice or to revenge or get back at people. It's just, I want to be representation for people, for actually home ownership for women. Cause that's another reason I don't look like the person. I don't look like people, like when you go to these conferences, I'm not, I don't look like them. I look like more of the originator, the real estate agent, the AE, the homeowner. And I'm always in chucks, and I'm always, but I am good with that. Like, I'm okay. I never want to lose that because I feel like I'm approachable.
Mm-hmm. And really,
I want people to approach me, but then they circle back because I know, I guess, very key influential people. And, I just had dinner with Barry Habib yesterday, and people were like, oh my God, and I'm like, well, yeah, no,
like, no, I get that. I get that too. It's the same way. Like I get it, but we're just coming from a different place. There's no agenda. There's no, kind of like, what can I get out of this?
It's not
relationship. None of that. Like, and that's even, when you and I met, same thing, even like with Tony, and Tony might've been the founder, CEO of NAMBA, but like he and I have remained, we have like, I think, a good friendship because it was never like, ooh, what can I get out of this person because he happens to be, the head of NAMBA.
And listen, obviously you and I met through NAMBA. We met through Tony, right?
Yeah.
And I was with him when he first started, and he's crazy busy now, even though we still text and talk all the time, pretty late sometimes, but we do. But he is someone that I look up to, because I remember when he first started, the amount of like no, and the doors being shut, and the comments that they would say to him was really honestly, it was really harsh. I have so many stories that I'm going to write them down, and when I die, when I go home to be with the Lord, I want everyone
to know, like, call people out.
Raquel, be like, and on June,
it's like what show is it? A Jimmy Kimmel Live where he has the celebrities read their horrible tweets about?
Yes. You're in charge of that at my funeral. Like, I'm gonna write down like all the like mean things and find out which companies were like meanies or mean girls, and I want you to read them all at my.
Yeah. No, but I would just had this conversation with my mom just a couple days ago because I have a couple friends that, you know, they've been like struggling because they're like starting their businesses, starting a movement, you know, but they're so passionate about it, and I'm still sticking with them because they're like, you know, they're good people, and it's amazing how many doors are being shut right now, and I just laugh because I'm like, watch, these folks are gonna be something someday, and the same people that are shutting the doors and saying mean things are gonna come back around. But I was like, but nope.
No, that's why. That's when you call me anytime, and I know we're, you know, on time, but anytime you call me, I'm gonna jump for you. I mean, I literally had to move something around to get, but anytime you call me, I will jump for you. Whatever.
I'm the same way, and that's important to have those people, and that's why, you know, you got to start somewhere, folks. Like when a relationship has to start somewhere. So if it is like Dalila said, reaching out to someone on LinkedIn, you'd be surprised. Once again, Tony reached out to me on LinkedIn because he wanted to be involved with NAMBA, and it just was a conversation. And then here I end up, you know, being heavily involved, you know, started a chapter, and now Dalila is one of my besties. And so like that, like the power of that is it's really important to still like talk about it all the times. I think not enough people get it.
Well, I think we have to be consistent with that messaging, and eventually they'll get it. And so that's one of the things I definitely advocate for as well. And I see you all the time. So yeah, I'm so excited. But I'll see you, Lord willing, in September, right? I'm seeing you in September.
Yes, Lord and willing.
Okay. You'll be there, girl.
All right. Well, we are, you know, we've done our time here.
Yes, thank you so much.
But thank you. Make sure you stay on. Do not hop off. Okay.
No, I won't. I got it.
Thank you to everyone. Christina, you're always such a gem. She's always such a huge support. I love it. And then Lisa hopped in. She had mentioned Susan Woods. I think when you were talking about mortgage G's, I think maybe she wrote Susan Woods as like one of the mortgage.
As a mortgage G? Hold on. Let me write.
Yeah. So write Susan Woods.
Susan Woods.
So Lisa Green, that's all she said was Susan Woods. So I'm going to assume that there's a reason.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and
talk about people in the industry. So yeah. But thanks again, everyone. And I will see you all next Wednesday.